Hi, and welcome to Epiphanies. I'm the Reverend Jessie Brandon, and I'm a life cycle celebrant as well as a metaphysical minister, and I have the opportunity to bring my two loves together, books and people. So grab a cup of tea or coffee, settle into your cozy chair, and join us to see where we go with our guest, Marcia Doughty. Now, today we're going to be talking about the warrior goddess way, and that is Claiming the Woman You Are Destined to Be by Heatherash Amara. So let's see what Heatherash has to say. As you will see in the pages that follow, the warrior goddess way is not a path to instant self-love, enlightenment, or happiness, though all of these things could happen in an instant. Nor is it a method to finally finding the partner of your dreams, having the perfect job, or being the perfect specimen of health and vitality, though all of these things could happen to you too. The warrior goddess way is a pathway of presence, baby steps, and practice. It is a road to reclaiming all of you, your darkest fears and your most precious gifts. The warrior goddess way invites you to bring your compassion, love, and humor to the entirety of your being on your walk to becoming the woman you were meant to be. This is a core rewiring of how you have been trained as a woman, a digging up of the old foundation to replace it, brick by brick, with a new, more solid and resilient structure. Well, that certainly sounds exciting, and to find out more, I'm going to welcome my guest, Marcia Doughty, onto the set. Hi, Marcie.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Have a seat.
Thank you.
So, I was going to offer you some, do you want tea or just hot water, or are you good for now?
I'm good for now. Thank you.
All right. So, Marcie,
Yes.
tell me about the book. Why did you choose to read this one?
It's one of those books that came to me at just the right time. As a woman and a mom and an entrepreneur and a bit of a perfectionist, it's really easy to slip into the pattern of self-judgment. And this book, it reminds us, it's a beautiful way actually, to remind us to trust our intuition, listen to our inner knowing, that, you know, that gut feeling, and celebrate the gifts, the struggles and the gifts, and know that both are a way to help us evolve. And so accepting what is and not what should be or what you think it should be. And yeah, like I said, it just came to me at just the right time in my life. The other piece is about authenticity. Which really spoke to me because I have a job that's a little out of the ordinary, and so learning to be able to stand up and say, this is me, this is what I do, I'm proud of it, I believe in it, without shame or hiding or, you know, fear of judgment.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about what that job is in a little while.
Yeah.
So if you had to give someone a quick synopsis of what you got from the book, what would it be?
Well, there are 3 sections to the book. The first is about wisdom, and it's about learning to listen to the voices not in your head, but in ourselves. And that's something I do every single day in my job. It, you know, leads me down a path of helping others. So that really spoke to me. The second piece is, like I said, about authenticity. And the third piece is about saying yes to every situation, whether it's good or bad, something unexpected. I had a day like that yesterday where your day falls apart, and instead of stressing and worrying about what should have been, you're celebrating what is, and usually that opens you up to some unexpected experiences, maybe something that you really truly needed,
right,
instead of what you expected would happen that day.
Yeah,
so.
I absolutely love that part about saying yes. It reminds me of Shonda Rhimes, the producer that has so many hit shows, and she wrote a book, My Year of Saying Yes, and that was what she was trying to do, was shake loose all of the things that were not working for her, and she just decided she was going to say yes to everything. And I was talking to somebody about that the other day and said that maybe they were living with too many no's.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so they're going to try a month at a time of saying yes.
Nice.
So, yeah.
It's amazing. Well, fear holds us back from so many experiences. So
It really does.
I've been trying to do a little bit of that myself lately, is say yes to things that push me outside my comfort zone. And it allows us to grow and learn things about ourselves. Yeah.
Is there a part of the book that is particularly, it speaks to you, that you could read to us, or something that...
You know, it's funny. I read the book and I took so many notes. I kept thinking, there's such a good quote, I have to write this down. And then I flipped the page and there was another good quote that I had to write down.
Yeah.
I think the piece that spoke to me the most was about authenticity. And I think, like I said, it was simply because it came to me at the right time in my life. There's so many good quotes, but honestly, right on the back sort of says it all. It's one of the reasons why I grabbed it off the shelf. And it says, authenticity is embracing your vulnerability, your silliness, and owning all your superpowers. It's accepting and loving what is and not what should be.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'm doing this show, because I had had a dream for 20 years that I wanted to do a little radio show, and was speaking of it to somebody, and they said, "You're too animated for radio, you need to do TV." And I thought,
Yes, I do.
community cable, Rogers, okay. And boom, here I am. So yeah, it's about allowing yourself to do whatever comes up in your heart that feels right.
Absolutely.
And saying yes.
Absolutely. The title alone grabbed me, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that before I came here. What does warrior goddess mean to me? And a warrior, you know, is someone who's strong and powerful and confident, and, you know, this is who I am and I'm not afraid to show it. But at the same time, the goddess part is, it shows love and compassion and understanding, and so it's definitely who I want to be.
Beautifully put.
Yeah.
Do you know Colette Mesdag?
I do.
Right. So it made me think of
Yes.
her cards.
Yes, they're amazing.
Yeah, they really are. And she talks about the 4 phases being, what is it? I'm going to get them wrong, but it's child, warrior, mother. Oh, sorry. So it's maiden, warrior, mother, crone.
Oh,
And
okay.
I see all of those as being a form of moving into your goddesshood.
Yeah.
So, and that's what crone really means to me too. It's we've had a discussion about that. So, have you recommended this book to other people?
Many people.
Yeah.
Yeah, many people. I have a little lineup of people waiting to borrow it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I reread it again before I came here today, and you know, it's a good reminder of the little things that we already know, but we need to be reminded of.
Yeah.
And what I love about it too is that she's got some really great practical exercises that you can do to practice these things.
Cool.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about one of them?
Yeah, there's one on meditation. Meditation is something that people ask me about often, and it's interesting because it's something that's new to me within the last few years. And so I'm by no stretch an expert. And so it gives you 4 different ways of meditating, because one way may not work for everybody.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
Can you remember what they are?
Yeah, I can't remember them all off the top of my head.
That's
but
okay.
One that I loved was, she called it Fill the Space meditation. And so you are repeating a mantra in your mind or out loud, whatever it is that you need maybe to hear in that moment. So, you know, I am peace, or I am safe, or, you know, whatever it is that speaks to you in that moment. And for those of us who have busy minds and who find it difficult to stay focused, stay quiet, you know, to keep your mind from wandering, I found, for me anyway, that was an easy way to give myself something to focus on without letting my mind wander to other places.
Exactly, because I've tried counting breath, and that doesn't work for me, because I start counting and then I'll think, oh, and I have to get that, you know, whatever, because the number will have led me to another thought.
Yeah.
I prefer myself guided meditation, because then I'm listening to that voice.
Yeah.
If it's just silence, my mind is just too busy.
It does. I think the key with that too, and again, by no stretch an expert, but is to just grab a hold of that thought and go, yep, no, I see that over there, let's pull it back in. And then you have another thought come up, and just be okay with it. And that's another part of what they talk about in the book too, right?
Yeah.
Being okay with what is and not what should be, because we have this idea of what we think meditation should be. And if we just sort of let it be whatever it's going to be, maybe those thoughts that pop up are exactly something that you need to hear.
Yeah.
And just to remember to pull it back in, pull it back in.
True.
Yeah.
The first time I experienced meditation was I was 14 in grade 9 with my PE teacher, they called them then. I don't know if they still do, but she had us lay down on mats and she did the, relax your toes, relax your ankles and all the way up. And I thought it was completely boring and a waste of time. And then I did it again, found it again at 26 and did it for a while when I was, all into the fitness craze and everything. And then, that went on its way, and it's just come in and out of my life, and I have never been able to nail down a practice that I'm, I was going to say that I'm proud of, that I feel is working for me. But I know somebody that says meditation is every moment.
Yes.
So that kind of works better for me, because then if I just take a moment and I'm looking at something and just feeling it, then it just works for me. So
I think it just comes back to being present, being in the moment, whether it's a walking meditation or an eating meditation or brushing your teeth meditation, whatever it is, it's just learning to be more present and in the moment.
So if there was one thing that you would like our viewers to get from this book, what would that be?
I think it talks a lot about women, but I think it pertains to all of us, and it's just learning to have compassion for ourselves and our experiences and others, and knowing that we all have a path, we all make good choices and bad choices, and it's all for a reason. And that again, learning to love them for who they are in this moment, not wishing them to be another way. And if we could all treat ourselves and each other more that way, I think it would be better for all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Marcie, I forgot to read your bio, so I'm going to do that when we come back, because right now we are going to take a quick break, and you're watching Epiphanies. I invite you to come back in just a moment where we'll talk about what Marcie does. I think you'll find it very interesting. Thanks, and I'll see you in a minute. Hi, and welcome back to Epiphanies. I'm here with my guest, Marcia Doughty, and we've been talking about the warrior goddess way, and now we're going to talk about Marcie. And I forgot to read her bio when she first came on, so I'm going to tell you who she is, and then we're going to talk about what she does. So Marcia Doughty is a registered bioenergetics practitioner, a Reiki practitioner, an Access Bars practitioner, and her business is called Start Fresh Wellness. She operates out of a lakeside clinic here in Barrie in the South End. And 2 years ago, she made a career change following some of her own health challenges that ultimately led her down the natural energetic path. Now, her passion grows daily as she dives deeper into this world. Every success story fuels her desire to help others overcome their own health issues on physical, emotional, and spiritual levels. So, tell me a little bit about that. What is bioenergetics?
Bioenergetics. I work with the body to help determine what it is that is the culprit of somebody's health issue. We know in the physics world that every single substance in the entire universe has its own unique vibrational frequency. So I use muscle testing to help determine what it is our body recognizes and what it doesn't. If our body recognizes the frequency of something, it knows how to process it. If our body doesn't recognize the frequency, it sees it as a foreign invader and will set off some sort of reaction to let us know that it doesn't know what this is, doesn't know how to process it.
Right.
So determining what it is the body doesn't recognize is one part of it. And the second part is being able to reintroduce that frequency back into the body, so now the body knows how to process it.
Right, and
Yes.
I'm just going to let my viewers know, I saw Marcie in her office and she tested me, and one of the things that we discovered is I take copious amounts of magnesium, but my body didn't recognize it, so it was just going right through me. And I wanted to tell you that I actually feel a difference now. I'm sleeping better, and yeah, right now I'm still having a problem with my legs, you know, details that don't matter, but anyway, but it's changed. I can feel it, so I think that's
Good.
really cool.
It
So
is
can we
cool.
show my viewers what you do, how you do the testing with the hands?
Sure.
Is that okay?
Absolutely. There are lots of different ways to muscle test. This is the way that we muscle test.
Okay.
I'll have you hold your
That
fingers
finger.
together.
Okay, so it's like this.
Yes.
All right.
I'm going to put my fingers in here, and you're going to hold your fingers together. Try to keep a circle there.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to open you up. You're going to put your hand in your head like this, and you're going to flip your hand upside down, and now your fingers open up.
Ooh,
So
okay.
when I test somebody, I do work with these vials. This is the time of year for people having issues with ragweed and seasonal, some of those, so that's what I brought today.
Okay.
And when I am testing, I am having you hold that up against your arm.
So like this.
Yeah, I am attempting to open your fingers. If they open, which they did, it means that your body is not recognizing the frequency of ragweed. So it may be something that you have an issue with, and it would be something worth reintroducing for you.
Right. Now open that case up for them so that they can
Sure.
see. You have literally what, thousands? of these.
75 in this one. Many, many, many different kits for many different things.
Right.
Yes, this is only one area.
So this says plants and pollens. Okay, so you
Yes.
name a couple of other kits that are just so.
Digestive issues are something I work a lot with, so I would be testing things like amino acids, digestive enzymes, probiotics, food, which is a really big one. There's a kit for sleep disorders, there are kits for hormones, there are kits for thyroid and adrenal, vitamins and minerals, all sorts of different things, radiations.
Yeah.
Things in the environment like barometric pressure if someone's struggling with migraines, for example, heat and humidity, some people struggle with those.
Is there a particular success story that you can think of right now that you were able to change?
Yeah, there are lots, but one of my favorites is early on, I worked with a gentleman who had not been able to eat apples and oranges in 20 years.
Wow.
He told me a story. He was in his office, he was on a conference call, he had the door closed and his throat started to close over and he thought, what is going on? And one of his coworkers had walked down the hall and tossed their orange peel in his garbage. And he closed the door for the phone call, and then he had this reaction.
Wow.
So we did some work on him, and he is so excited. I've never seen anyone so excited to eat an apple and an orange in 20 years.
Wow.
He's thrilled. He said he was craving a green apple. Like he just couldn't wait to eat a green apple.
Oh, isn't that cool?
Yeah, it's very cool.
Okay, so you've been doing this for 2 years,
2 years.
and have you been? Can you tell me what the issue was that led you into this? Are you able to share that?
Absolutely. I was having digestive issues myself. The diagnosis I was given was ulcerative colitis. And so I had made diet changes, which had been helpful, but just not, there was more. I knew there was more that needed to be done. And so my nutritionist, who became a very good friend of mine, and I traveled down to see somebody else who does this for a living. She had heard about it, didn't know much about it, and we thought, well, let's go check it out.
Yeah.
And yeah, we were vibrating with excitement when we left. And I have seen great results myself. There are things that come up from time to time, as they do with all of us, that need balancing out and working with, but overall, it's made a huge difference for me.
Yeah. Now, is there
Yeah.
a chance that you can restore the vibration recognition in the body and then it can slip out again? Does that ever happen?
It can. If you were to experience a major stress that flipped your system upside down, then yes, I imagine that you may need a little bit of a tune-up. People always ask, how do these intolerances develop? It wasn't an issue when I was younger, and it's an issue now. And the reason that happens is stress. Whether it's emotional stress, physical stress, electromagnetic stress, any kind of stress on the body will throw us out of balance. And that's when these things develop. So managing our stress is so important.
Yeah,
So
it really
important.
is. And it just, you hear that word so much these days. Even my 22-year-old is always talking about being so stressed. And, you just think, how did we get here? We have all this technology that's supposed to make our life easier. And really, I think it's made it worse, because now instead of having a phone at home you can walk away from, you've got it with you all the time, and people can always reach you. And
Absolutely. I think the key is slowing down, connecting, whether it's with yourself, whether the people in your life, in your family, and people have it in their mind that there are certain things they need to do, like meditation. We talked about that. That terrifies people who don't think that they can do it. Whatever it means for you, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's reading a book, whether it's connecting with a friend, or sitting and petting your dog, whatever it is that slows you down, grounds you, connects you, I think is key. Self-care, it's important.
Now I'm going to mention a personal factor for you. You have how many? 5 children.
Yes.
5 children in your home.
Yes.
So how do you deal with, it's got to be stressful. It's
busy, absolutely, yep.
And how do you deal with all of that?
I think it's just trying really hard to make yourself a priority, because as moms, we do a really good job of putting everybody else first. So, carving out some time, even if it's just 5 minutes here and there. I had a day yesterday where 4 of my appointments rescheduled. They didn't cancel, they rescheduled, so there was no need to panic, but at the same time, your day is not quite what you expected it to be. So in following what I've learned in the Warrior Goddess way, I thought, okay, let's step back here. Maybe the universe is handing me something that I really, truly need today. And it was exactly that. It was some time for me, time for my husband and I to connect with each other. I got to cross off some of the little things that have been left undone as far as myself, cleaning up some loose ends, and took some time to do a little meditation. All of those things are really important. Went for a walk, and so I think, I was given what it was that I really needed.
Yeah, and isn't that amazing how the universe just does that, just knows. And like you say, it could have felt like calamity. It could have felt like a lot of awful things. But in fact, the universe knew what you needed.
And I think if you don't take time for yourself, you'll be pushed into it. The universe will find a way to make sure that you get what you need. It may not be in the package that you expected it to come in, but you will get what you need.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I just want to ask you a couple of questions about other things.
Okay.
Let me see, so we talked about being at the lakeside. Where exactly is the Lakeview, sorry?
Lakeside, you're
Lakeside.
right.
I was right the first time.
Yep.
Okay, so where exactly is it?
570 Bryan Drive.
570 Bryan Drive,
Yes.
okay. I know that because I've been there, but for you viewers, we like to make sure that you know where you can find Marcie. So what is your greatest pleasure in living your life the way that you do?
That's a very good question. My greatest pleasure. Work-wise, I love, love, love having success stories. Like if I could do what I do without charging any money, I would take care of everybody.
Yeah.
I really would. It makes me so happy. It just fills me up to hear those success stories, because they can be life-changing. Personally, it's time with my family, connecting. Those are the things.
What do you think your strongest personal quality is?
Compassion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And why, how does that exhibit itself in you?
I think, well, first of all, my job, always wanting to take care of others, put their needs first. I need to remember, though, now, and again, it's part of what I've learned from that book, and continue to learn. I'm a work in progress. Compassion for myself as well.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, do you believe that you are contributing to the problem or the solution in the world? Just living your life the way you do.
I want to say the solution. I think when I chose my business name, for example, Start Fresh Wellness, in wanting to contribute to the solution, I want people to start fresh with maybe a new approach, because maybe whatever they've been doing up till now hasn't been working. So if we can provide them with maybe a new way, something they've never tried, and maybe this isn't the solution, but maybe it's a piece to the puzzle. And so, yeah, and being able to do that for others, but also bringing it home to my family.
Yeah.
I mean, Reiki was something my husband and I took together.
Oh, yeah.
And the only reason we took it in the first place was that so we could take care of ourselves, each other, and our family. Wonderful.
Have you had any experiences with Reiki healing that you can share with me?
Bioenergetics is a bigger part of what I do right now. Reiki I love, and I really, really want to do more of it.
Yeah.
I think, you know what, I think the story that I love the most is my daughter. She's 5 years old, and she was at school sick. I picked her up one day, I brought her home, and she laid down and she was feeling awful, and she said to me, she said, "Mommy, can I have Reiki?" And I thought, oh my goodness, right? She doesn't really understand what it is, but she knows that it feels good.
Yeah.
And so it's not a huge life-changing story, but oh my goodness. And for her to feel that way at 5 years old,
yeah, that's
she's
amazing.
Yeah.
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 Just 1 minute, I want to talk to my viewers here. I invite you to contact me by email. It's jessie@jessiebrandon.ca. And the reason you would be contacting me is to ask any questions about Marcie and what she does, or the Warrior Goddess Way, and I'll be happy to answer those in future shows, so you'll have to come back and watch again. Now, Marcie, I want to ask you one last question before we go. What was your biggest epiphany?
Oh boy, my biggest epiphany. In general?
Yeah.
In general. I think, you know what, I think just learning how much power I have, or we have, each of us as an individual.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's very cool. That's
yeah.
good. Listen, Marcie, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day and joining me on this show. I've really appreciated your time.
Thank you.
And I'd like to thank you as well, my viewers, for taking your time and watching this show. And I invite you back here every week. Love to have you with us. Thanks so much, and enjoy your evening.